What is up, YouTube / Twitter? How you guys doing? PPS back here. It is our Wednesday edition of Pass the Prop. Sticking to mostly baseball today. I believe we are going into NBA for our Pikkit stuff today. But Monotone, how you been doing? I obviously know it's only been 2 days, but how's did you bet on any NBA last night or any MLB?
Yeah, yesterday wasn't the best day. It didn't get a Jimmy Butler three, couple things that have been going great for us. Didn't quite work out, but hey, today's a new day. Excited to make it back. Great baseball slate. A game I'm super excited for in the NBA. Should be a great day. I think generally game ones for me are a little bit slower. I like to sit back and watch, see what teams are going to do before we really kind of, start spending the big money, obviously. So I'm glad we got a good baseball slate today.
Yeah, no, I did okay. I had Tatum double as a play as well. Six rebounds, I think, in the first half and 5 assists. So I was like sitting nice. And then I think he got one of each in the second half. And I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, it was wild. I had Tatum under on threes. That one hit. But I mean, the injury news, like all that right before it happened, I'm like, this sucks, dude. Like, I just could not believe that happened just that fast. Everything just clicked like that, and it was boom. Everything was out of it.
100%.
Looking at some guys in the chat, Jay, as always, talking about his Kings. Obviously, having Mr. Brown, I believe, coming on over to his Kings after the season. So obviously, paying attention to that series. And Ben's on PRA for Adebayo and points over for Tyler Hero. Love to see that. Yeah, so we'll get right on into it. Quick recap from our prior show. We'll just do, since it's just us two, we'll just do what we had on the show. I ended up splitting on one of the weirdest ways of losing I've had in a while. Twins money line cash pretty easily. And then Sensatella, dude, gets hurt while warming up in the second inning. And then the Giants end up scoring 7 runs in the next 3 innings. So I was just sitting there like, dude, he would have gotten blown up too. And I just got, sometimes the gambling gods aren't on your side for those. Luckily, you got the fade sweep of your own team, which I love, in a game that we will be going back to again today. So very, very exciting for us to get right back into, I believe, fading your team again. So with that being said, I will let you start off with a play that cashed last time. Might as well go to it again, huh?
Yeah, exactly. We're going with the Jazz Chisholm hit and the Marlins to wrap it up and get another win. This is at plus 105 over on DraftKings right now. Kind of similar to what we were doing on Monday. Chisholm is kind of by far, right, the Marlins' best hitter right now. We saw what that team looked like when he exited the lineup. It's a bit of a sad lineup. They obviously got him going in the leadoff position most of the time, which means he's probably going to get 4 to 5 at bats, depending on how close this game is, how long it goes. So obviously the more at bats, the more chances. These two teams played once earlier in the season, they played multiple times, but Chisholm faced Josiah Gray once earlier in the season and did end up recording a hit in that game, which was obviously nice to see. He's just been killing us so far this year. He's been killing everyone. He's been playing great. As for the Marlins money line side, I don't think I need to go too deep into this one necessarily. They have one of the best pitchers on the mound, in baseball on the mound in Lopez this week, who, I don't know about you, I was definitely not expecting this ascension that fast. I obviously knew they were building up this young core of starting pitchers, but I don't think a lot of people expected Lopez necessarily to be the ace of the rotation. But he's obviously proven people wrong, coming in with an ERA closer to 1 than 2, which is obviously pretty scary, especially going against the Nationals team that just looks atrocious right now. I don't know if you've been watching any of these games, but I really do think the energy in Marlins Stadium brings it down even more. Do you know what I mean? Like when a team's kind of slumping already, they look low energy, they look terrible. When we went on the road and we actually started playing well, we were going to the Angels, we were going to the Giants, the Rockies, where there were people kind of fired up there. And it looked like we kind of reflected it with that energy. But as soon as we got to Marlins Park, we absolutely looked atrocious. And then it feels like just the 50 people in the crowd doesn't really help. Those games just feel really pathetic to watch, honestly. So I will be watching it once again. Betting on it is obviously subjecting myself to that. But the Marlins are just playing better than the Nationals right now. They've got the pitching advantage right here. I think they take care of business at plus money. I'm going to take this one once again.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna bring up all my information and stuff because I'm gonna be going right into this game as well because I love your outlook on this. I'm gonna be on the first 5 under in that game actually. Um, just exactly what you said. Pablo Lopez has been fantastic. At home this year, he's got a 1.5 ERA, 184 batting average allowed so far this season at home. Obviously, it's a very nice pitcher's park there in Marlins Park. And one other reason that I really like this spot is because Josiah Gray, right? Everybody's been talking about him. He's had some blow up starts. He's had some good starts. You know, he's kind of been in that middle spot, a young pitcher kind of figuring himself out in the big leagues. But one stat that I thought was very, very interesting was his home road splits are unbelievable, right? His home record right now, he's sitting at a 6.43 ERA with a 289 batting average allowed. He's given up 15 earned runs in only 21 innings there at home. But now, obviously, this is going to be in Marlins Park. 16 innings, only 3 runs allowed with a 1.65 ERA and a 130 batting average allowed against him through all of his away games here so far this season. So I like this spot. Obviously, the Marlins offense is okay, but they obviously should be able to score a few on him, on Josiah Gray. But I think Pablo Lopez completely shuts down this national side. In the way Josiah Gray's had a little bit more confidence, his stuff is moving a little bit more on the road. I like this spot to attack the under. And I just don't see both offenses doing too much here. Like I said, if one side does decide to get a couple, I think it's just going to be the Marlins scraping a couple off in those 1 or 2 run innings here early. But I think 4 is a little bit too high, especially with the home road splits as they are. And Pablo Lopez has just been fantastic. Looking at his numbers here, looking at his first time through the order, he has a 1.65 ERA. Second time through the order, 0.54 ERA. That second time through the order. So a guy who continually gets better throughout the game. I love this spot. I think Pablo Lopez, like I said, is one of those guys that can shut down this offense. And also just looking at what we talked about, there's a lot of lefties in this Nationals order. Only a 160 batting average allowed to lefties this season. Love this spot here for the under 4. Obviously, you like this game. You have any thoughts on the under as well, or are you looking at more just rolling on the Marlins money line side?
No, I agree with you. Definitely leaning towards the under. Gray has been the only pitcher for the Nationals so far this year that's really kind of been able to show up. Like you said, there have been a couple blow up games, but if you kind of factor those out, right, he's gone 5 innings in almost every start this season so far. He's really been one of their most consistent pitchers. And yeah, neither of these teams have played in very high scoring games all season long, right? They've played about 6 or 7 games against each other so far, and only I believe one of them has went over like the game total of like 8 or 9. So it's going to be a low scoring matchup, like you said, pitcher's ballpark. I definitely like the under. I was doing the same thing, looking for a couple different ways to attack this, whether it's no runs first inning, the race to 3 I did last time, but I do think that this is the best way to attack it because we've got both teams' best pitchers on the mound today.
Yeah, I don't do many nerfies, I think they call them. I don't do many of those. I think the under first 5 is definitely a little bit safer because there's been so many games where there's just 1 run in the first inning and then nothing, right? Two ones, 1-1s through the first 5 that just happened to score almost all the runs in the first inning. So yeah, I am staying away from those nerfies as they call them. But yeah, let's get right into our Taylor Fade section, right? Let's get right on into it. Looking at it here, I believe Yankees money line won for us last time, and Devers did not. I was luckily on Devers last night, and he hit a nuke. Had 3 hits total, so obviously had to get my redemption there, cashing in on Mr. Devers. But let's get right into it. I'm going to let you take this one. I am not a guy who usually backs this type of play, so this is what I'm going to be kind of pushing your way. I'm going to just say I'm going to fade it just because I don't bet this. But give me some reasons why, and do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, so this is an interesting one, right? We're obviously going over to Pikkit Sports for our Tale of Fade. And normally when I'm scrolling through what are the most popular bets of the day, you never see defense mentioned. But I guess, the community is obviously liking this one a little bit today. I like it in general. I think 1 steal as a parlay piece is a bit safer than asking him to record 2 steals. But he had a lot of consistency with this prop last series. A lot of it comes down to volume too, right? I've kind of mentioned this a lot, but we want the guys that are going to spend the most minutes on the court, right? You're not going to have as many steal opportunities. You're not going to be able to capitalize off of bad transition turnovers, all this kind of stuff if you're only playing 28 minutes a game. So Luka Doncic is in store for, a 40-minute workload pretty much every game this series. which obviously, helps support him right here. It is interesting that this is the most popular one, though. I'm a little bit skeptical of that almost. Like, why are we not going points, guys? Rebounds, assists. We went to steals. I think there's definitely pros and cons on both sides, but like you said, I'm just not super interested in this prop. I think one steal as a parlay piece is actually a much better play. I played a lot of Luka today in the first quarter. You can check out my article I already posted. I'm on his points, rebounds, and assists in the first quarter. I threw steals in as one steal as a personal play. I obviously like him to get one steal, but I don't think a lot of people realize how hard it is to get these 2-steal games, right? Look at like a guy like Jimmy Butler who's kind of doing it on the regular. If you scroll past Jimmy Butler, there's really nobody else in the playoffs that's kind of hitting it at that level of consistency. So I'm gonna fade this one too. He could probably grab 2 steals, but it is what it is. I like one steal as a parlay piece, but I'll fade the over to 1.5 steals.
Yeah, I'll be fading too. I've just seen so many guys on Twitter and just be like, oh, this, like, I'm watching the play. They post the play, and it's like, I thought he got the steal, and it goes to somebody else. So it's just, there's so many variables in this. I don't play many defensive props like ever. So that's why I said I'll kind of let you take this one, because I really have no thought process on taking the defensive ones, kind of one I stay off of. So I'll be fading this one as well.
Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but when you look at how they kind of rule these plays, it almost seems like they always give the edge because they change from block to steal quite easily. They do it all the time. They just did it to Bam Adebayo yesterday. You might have seen that. That was kind of a controversy a lot of people were angry about. It always seems like they give the category to whatever the player is less known for, which kind of reflects in the betting, right? So if Luka Doncic grabs in, goes a steal, they give him a block. No one's been on Luka Doncic blocks. You know what I mean? It seems to always kind of fall that way, that you never really get those lucky breaks you were hoping for. So that is another 100% true thing, is that these are very, very subjective, and you're going to feel absolutely terrible at the end of the night if you see 2 steals in the box score and suddenly they take one away in the fourth quarter and you've got nothing. It happens all the time, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's just such a touchy part to go on to, but one thing that hasn't really been that way has been our Taylor fade number 2, which is the Yankees money line. Jesus, these guys are on fire right now. 5-4 victory last night again over the Orioles. Are looking for the sweep today. Garrett Cole versus Mr. Jordan Lyles, Pioneer right now. I think this is team number 6 or 7. I know he used to play for the Brewers, so I do obviously know him a little bit. But, man, are you going to get in front of this Yankee buzzsaw right now? These guys are on one right now. Judge is playing at an MVP-type level. He looked great again yesterday. I thought he was going to hit another homer. He hit one, but there was one off the top of the wall for almost triple earlier in the game as well. This Yankee offense is tough. Are you going to be tailing or fading the number 2 or actually the highest bet MLB spot on Pikkit today? Are you taking it or are you fading it?
Yeah, no, I'm taking it. This isn't just the highest bet MLB spot. It looks like the highest bet spot so far this morning, right at 11:15 or 10:50 Central, whatever time zone you're in. This is the number 1 on the board, and I see why, man. We talked about this at length on Wednesday. We even had resident Yankees fan Alpha in here to help us out. Like you said, they're a buzzsaw right now. I absolutely don't want to stand in their way. Once again, we're not out here telling you guys to lay, minus 170 or anything like that. But in terms of people, it seems like people are using it as a parlay piece. It seems like people are big on the Yankees. The second most popular one in the game was the run line. So people are obviously on the Yankees. I see why. I just don't have any interest in fading it right here. I don't think it's like a must bet or anything like that. But like you said, they're one of the best teams in baseball, maybe the best team in baseball. And I don't really want to get in their way, especially with the Orioles right here.
Yeah, this team is so good. I'm looking through their box score. It's just win, 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 one loss, win, win. I think it's like 10 of 12 that they've been winning, obviously facing off against the White Sox 2 prior to the Baltimore Orioles. It's just tough to think Jordan Lyles is going to get lucky here in this one. It's just, if it was just Judge hitting well, I would understand, but Stanton's hitting the ball hard. Rizzo's getting on base at a very high clip. There's just every single spot in this order. There's really no letdown spot. Even Kinder Falefa looks pretty good coming over. And obviously DJ LeMahieu at the top of this order. This lineup is tough. Maybe you throw it in with the Blue Jays with Gausman on the mound. Maybe you throw it in with I mean, if you're going to go to NBA wanting to roll with the Warriors, throw it on that. I've just seen the steam go on this play almost all day. It started at 220. It's down to 270 now. So obviously the Yankees' love is coming in. And I think it's definitely a spot to target today. Find your other favorite spot in another sport, because I think that this is a great spot here. And while we're at it, we might as well just go right back to the Marlins game. We kind of got you off for a little bit, but Mr. Monotone's bringing us right back to play number 2 for him of this game.
Yep, this is Josiah Gray over 4.5 Ks, minus 140 over on Caesar Sportsbook. Getting some pretty good line value. Already seeing it kind of minus 160 at FanDuel, places like that. Gray has been, like we said earlier, the Nationals' best pitcher so far. And obviously this Marlins team has been pretty good, but it's been on the back of the pitching, right? When you look at that lineup, there's a lot of guys batting under 200, right? There's a lot of guys that you can get swings and misses on. And Gray showed that in his first outing, recording 10 strikeouts earlier this season. Like I said before, Gray's pitched 5 innings in his last 5 outings in almost every start this season. He's consistently getting deep into these games. He's not walking too many batters, and he's got good strikeout stuff in general. He's averaging, I believe, 5.57 strikeouts per game this season over this number in 5 of 7 games. I'm going to trust Gray to keep it going right here against a Marlins team that, like I said, there's a lot of outs in that lineup. He recorded 10 strikeouts in the first game. I think this is going to be a pitcher's duel. We've kind of talked about this before, where when you've got one kind of, I don't want to say elite, neither of these guys I would consider elite quite yet, but people that are on their way there, when you got 2 aces on the mound, each team's best pitcher, it kind of elevates it a little bit more, right? They see the guy on the other end, on the other mound. I can do that. I'm just as good as this guy. I'm going to go out there and show him what I've got. So I think we get a good pitching battle right here, kind of supporting what you said earlier with the under. If Gray makes it 5 innings, I think he should be able to very easily record 5 strikeouts. This might be one I might consider throwing a little ladder on. I don't do that too often in baseball, but maybe I'll see what the 8 strikeouts odds are, and maybe we'll take a look there.
I love it. You got no objections from me. And now we're going to a very low spot today. And I'm going to the Brewers first 5 under 3. This is low, guys. Obviously, you're not going to see much lower than 3. And there's a reason why, right? These guys actually faced off earlier this season. Max Fried and Corbin Burns both faced off against each other. Fried went 7 innings, 1 run against the Brewers. Corbin Burns went 6 innings, 1 runs against the Braves in Atlanta, obviously. Fried obviously sucked on his first outing. Obviously, that blew up his numbers, but he's been very good since. 2.4 ERA since that blow-up start. And the Brewers cannot hit lefties. You just saw Davidson go off against these guys. I personally was on the over yesterday because I did not think that this was going to happen, because Davidson is a AAA guy at best. But Milwaukee batting 213 against lefties so far this season has been extremely, extremely bad. And now you're bringing in Fried, who's probably maybe top 10, top 15 lefty in baseball right now. And then we're going to go Corbin Burns here. And I might add another half unit to this play just because I got the lineup confirmation from the Braves, and they're going to be rolling out 7 right-handed bats against Corbin Burns. That is something you do not do. That is very, very, dumb of these guys to do, because Corbin Burns absolutely cooks right-handed bats. 158 batting average allowed. He's got a 141 batting average allowed at home this season. There's just really no way I see this Braves team doing too much besides striking out. It's the same thing as Peralta, right? Peralta did the exact same thing Burns is going to do, but Burns has better stuff. I have a really hard time seeing the Braves get a hold of this guy, especially at home, and especially Fried going up against this Brewers lineup, who, again, Adames went to the IL. We're going to have a very, very watered-down offense here going into this one. I don't think McCutcheon's in the lineup today. He just got called up off of COVID list. So you have Adames out of the lineup, and we have really no one besides Hunter Renfroe who actually hits lefties well. Obviously, Rowdy Tellez has been the revelation since he's been with the Brewers, but nothing much happening against left-handed pitching. Give me the under 3. If you want to do team total unders too, I just saw the Braves were like minus 155 to the under 1.5. It's just, I think this is the safest spot to go to. It was also, I think, 1-0 going through 5 in their first outing. I don't see much changing here in the new setting with the Brewers. at Miller Park. Do you have any thoughts on this one? Obviously, this is a pitching matchup, but this is very, very low total. So I understand if you have anything for me here.
Yeah, but I think you and me are both kind of familiar, right? We both have teams that really struggle to score runs at times, right? You know this with your Brewers, obviously, especially looking at that lineup, like you mentioned, it's going to be pretty bare right now. And kind of looking at the other side too, right? Atlanta does have a good lineup, but obviously they're one of those teams that we've kind of talked about this a couple times. They have a good lineup, but they also strike out a lot, right? They're one of those teams that kind of threads that needle a little bit, and we've got a very good strikeout pitcher going right here. I wish I ran that yesterday. I almost did. I almost pulled the plug with Peralta. Didn't end up doing it. But yeah, no, I like this one. Another pitcher's duel. We got a lot of low scoring games today. Not quite the high flying past the prop you guys might have expected, but there's value where there's value, and we got to pick our spots nicely. You know, I'm sure you'd love the Brewers to score, 80 runs today. I'd be happy for the Nationals to win, but we got to be realistic. We got to find our best spots, and I'm going to be tailing you on this one for sure. Pitchers duel, love it.
Yeah, and one last stat here. If you want to, I'm probably going to take the full game as well. The under in Corbin Burns starts this year is 6-0-1 so far this year. Yeah. That's just another stat to throw in on top of that. If you want to throw a little money on the under for the full game, which I probably will as well. It's just a lot of numbers are backing this one up. Obviously, there's always blow-up potential. Like if you watch the Astros game yesterday where they had 5 homers in the same inning against the ace of the Red Sox, right? There's obviously that type of potential in every one of these games, but just the way that both of these guys have been rolling lately, got to back the numbers on this one. All right, I think we have one question in here that we haven't got to. We'll do that quick, and then we'll get to our quick recap, and we'll get you guys out of here. Just a quick mention here. Kind of surprised the Yankees are so public here with Cole. I agree. I know a lot of people have been kind of off of him since the blow up early this season, but I don't know. We'll see how he does. Obviously, he's getting a lot of flack for the spider tack stuff, so we'll see how he continues to go throughout the season. Question for you, Monotone. What do you think about Clay's under points, rebounds, assists? I think who posted this last night? I saw someone on Twitter post this. Was it Prop Bomb? I don't know who it was. I saw someone post Clay's under PRA. Maybe it was I don't know who it was, but I did see somebody on it. Do you have any thoughts on it? Going into this, I believe it's 27 or 28 and a half.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember seeing you posted it. To be honest with you, I don't know if I'm super on board today. I mean, we just saw Klay Thompson obviously come off maybe his best performance of the season, I would say. And obviously we kind of seen that intensity, that, emotion kind of carry over. We saw Tatum do it against an incredibly hard defense, obviously ended at 29 points, but with an incredibly strong first half. But that's not just it for me. We've seen Curry struggle against the Mavs this year. The Mavs have a lot of length, right? When you got guys like Bullock, but also DFS, who's, 6'7", long wingspan, you can go out there and guard opposing guards out there. They've given Curry trouble. I don't believe Curry he's averaging 20 points against them in the regular season this year. Obviously, we can expect that to improve a little bit, but when Curry's down, right, when he's not playing at his best, guys like Clay, guys like Poole are going to step up. I'm not sure which one of those guys it's going to be. I've had the voice in the back of my head telling me to bet on Poole all day long, all week long. I'll probably end up getting to him in some way or another, but I'm not super interested in Clay's unders, to be honest. The volume's always going to be there. He hasn't been super efficient. We just saw what Reggie Bullock did to Devin Booker in those last 2 games. I don't know if you saw, once they switched off Dorian Finney-Smith and started just doing Bullock only. Oh, he was giving Devin Booker fits out there, man. Booker couldn't do anything. I'm not saying he's going to do that to Steph Curry, obviously, but this Dallas defense is legit, and I think Curry will be the primary target of that. So I'm not very interested in Clay unders, to be honest.
Yeah, 100% agree. I don't think I'm going to be a fader of a guy who's been here before, obviously. Yep. Usually I like to fade like the guys early on in their careers going into this type of matchup, But the Dallas Mavericks play at such a slow pace. It's going to be tough, right? Yep. That's the only thing I always worry about with unders and overs in the Mavericks game. It's just so slow. You have to be very, very efficient. Brewers offense, tough to predict. Yeah, 100%, dude. They're bipolar. They're crazy, man. It's very tough to predict the Brewers. All right. Doesn't look like we have any other questions in there. Obviously, you guys can see the ticker down low. That is all 4 of our plays for today's slate. 3 of them coming to you guys in the Nationals game. So we're going to have to wait till 5:40. Obviously, the Brewers start here in a little bit over an hour, so make sure you guys pop over and lock that one in. We will get to a quick recap here with Monotones plays first. Obviously, you know what game we're going to. Both of them being in the Marlins Nationals game.
Yep, Jazz Chisholm to record a hit, and the Marlins money line, that's plus 105 over on DraftKings. Then we got Josiah Gray over 4.5 strikeouts. That's minus 140 over on Caesars.
Perfect. Let's get to our Taylor fade section.
Yep, I think we're both fading Luka steals. No offense. Obviously, if you're watching Luka, we know you are. No offense. Big fan. Ball out in the first quarter today. I've got those bets, but fading the steals. And then Yankees money line. Yeah, like you said, I'm not jumping in front of that trade. We'll continue to tail the Yankees money line until that falls off. Obviously, don't play minus 200. Look for that Aaron Judge hit or whatever you want. But I'm not jumping in the way right here.
Perfect. And I will be riding 2 first 5 unders. First one's going to be the Brewers first 5 under 3 minus 105. That's a DraftKings line. It might be a better odd somewhere else, but that is the one I found this morning. So make sure you pop on that one. That starts in about an hour. And then going right back to the Marlins game. National Marlins under 4 first 5 minus 110. Love that spot. And I will also be fading Luka, entailing the Yankees. Monotone, what do you got for the people? Finishing up today, going into Friday's slate. That's the next time we'll see everybody. What do you got for the people for the next 48 hours?
Yeah, obviously articles will be going up over on Twitter. Got already Luka Doncic first quarter bets out. I'm a big first quarter believer. So if you have DraftKings, I'd recommend you go and check that out. It's been working out great. Taylor fade has also been going great. If you want to kind of do that yourself, make sure to head over to Pikkit Sports, right? We're using Pikkit Sports. We're just going through quickly, easily, and seeing what's the most popular bet of the day. That way you don't have to trust some random guy on Twitter that's posting it from some shady account. I never trust those. I don't know about you. It's obviously also a bet tracker, which is its primary use, odd shopping, all that kind of stuff. Completely free app. Code Pass the Prop, PTP. They'll send you a couple bucks, right? It's a free app. We keep having to tell people this, completely free. But yeah, we love Pikkit. We love hanging out over there. Make sure to download the app. And yeah, come talk to us, ask us questions, all that stuff.
Yeah, and if you're downloading over there, make sure to follow us over there. But both of us have an account over on Pikkit. If you want to check out a couple free plays, usually I just post the video that we have over here. And then maybe an extra free play I post over there as well. I'm trying to stay a little bit more consistent over there. And yeah, we got Ben, who's been very, very active in the chat today. Let's get you your last question. Looks like you're the last one here to ask. So we're under 30-minute line. We're doing well. Monotone. Anything for Dinwiddie over 11.5? Obviously, he had the huge pop-off game. The thing is it's tough for me because Dinwiddie obviously is the third option behind Brunson and Luka. But when he's hot, he's going to get his shots up in that second group, right? Kind of depends on Brunson or him. They both kind of get that. Either one of them goes off or the other one starts to shoot more, So do you have any thoughts on over 11.5 points? I don't know how I feel about this one. That one kind of seems at that right spot.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, right? When he went off the other day, it was 7.5, 8.5. It was that low for a reason, right? He did have that pop-off game. This is kind of just a no bet for me right now. I understand that he does have the upside to go over, but kind of like you said, this Mavs team, Luka's going to be the league high usage right now, or he's the highest usage player left in the playoffs. At that point, we're kind of depending on Dinwiddie to move past a guy like Brunson, who, like you said, is working as the secondary option. Dinwiddie's 3-point shot has kind of been inconsistent all season long. I'm very familiar with that as a Wizards fan. I got to watch him be terrible for the first half of the season, so I do have that inherent bias a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. I think Dinwiddie obviously is going to come in a bench scoring role. His minutes are not secure, which always scares me in the playoffs. For me, it's a no bet, but if I had to, I would probably lean over just because of like what you said. He closed out the series very strong. He's going to be coming in shooting with some confidence right here.
Yeah, I'm going to go under. I'm going to lean under. I just think the recency bias is moving this lineup a little bit too much. Dude, he missed it in the first 5 games. The first 5 games of the series, he went under this line. But then you saw him get 15 and they win. Then you saw him get 30.
Yep.
I've also seen Jason Kidd coach. And he's kind of more of like give the best player the ball and let him kind of figure it out. Same thing he did with Milwaukee, right? It was just force Giannis the ball and we'll figure it out from there. That's the same way. It's just going to depend on if he's going to be that off shooter that gets the ball, right? There's always one on this Mavericks team. There's the Finney-Smith game in that series. Bullock's had some big games. It's just going to be who can make that jump shot and kind of get that pressure off Luka. And if you can guess the right one and ladder that all the way up, I think you can definitely make some pretty big money tonight in this first game. So We've got our sign off now, guys. We just hit the 30-minute mark. Obviously, we're trying to do it. We'll be doing it on YouTube and Twitter from now on. So make sure if you're not popping in on YouTube and asking questions, pop over on Twitter. We'll be live over there and making sure that you guys get this money. So make sure you guys lock in all 4 of these plays. We'll be coming back to you guys in about 48 hours with another round of Pass the Prop. And yeah, let's cash a couple tickets and have a good one, guys. Best of luck on your bets. Peace.